What's going on, guys, and welcome back to our Surviving Java series. And we're having a bit of change of scenery here today. We're over at Size Base at the moment, mainly because this is where I sort of spawned in. And as you can probably tell, we've got a brand new skin for today's project, which is the Ancient City. And I've gone with the Wandering Trader skin, and we've done an alternative. Like, I'm not too much of a fan of the hood permanently being up, so I made an alternate one with just a little gold crown, so we're sort of like king of the traders. Seeing so that our Ancient City project is based around our trading hall inspired build, and we're starting here today. Oh yeah, that's my over the shoulder camera. I do like playing in this, but I tend to not record in this view. Starting over here today mainly because I was over here messing around with Clowd and Sai yesterday, and because we're going to probably be having like interruptions in our videos going forward depending on what size projects are, because she was still like she was in the same position as I was. Oh my god, it's a massive slime. Of trying to figure out like what to do when they come on and whatnot, but I decided to take it upon myself of creating Sai a project ball with the help of Clowd. And we've come up with some pretty interesting projects. Okay, guys, that works. Thank you. So we've got a whole wall of different projects, and we have been doing a few of them over the last few days. Like we took on a raid using just a full army of iron golems. We've done a ocean monument where no one was allowed to sleep during the project, which didn't have too much of a bearing. That was just one of the status things that she happened to land on, and her wall's done in 4 different tiers. So we've got like the easy tier, the normal tier, the medium tier, and then the hard tier. And some of these are like take a turn on my project board, because all my projects are massive. It's going to be on the hard tier. The next project that she landed on was actually this one, take on a mansion with firework crossbows. So we will be joining her on a few of them, and they will be sprinkled throughout my episodes going forward. But all that being said, we actually do need to head over to our Ancient City in order to figure out what it is we actually want to do today. We've also got ender porters over here and at Clouds now, so when Sai or Cloud are on, they can sort of like instantly teleport us over to where they are, depending on what the project is that we're going to be working on. And it's helpful to have it, mainly because if I'm working on a project like over at the Witch Hut area or my industrial area, it's around about a 2 to 3 minute journey back all the way over to one of their bases. So having like an instant teleporter for whenever they're on in order for me to get back there, it is highly convenient and handy. Now, as between last episode and this episode, I've mainly just been working on that project board for Sai, and just doing the normal bits and pieces of grindy work, tidying up a few of the chest monsters littered around the pathways. Just the normal daily grind sort of stuff that I tend to get on with. Let's hop in our minecart, head over to the main zoo building in order to get a train over to the Ancient City. So what I'm thinking for today's project is we've got all the librarians in place, we've got all of the farmers in place, we've got a melon and pumpkin farm up and running to get emeralds. We can buy books and enchanted books off of the librarians for the emeralds that we're getting off the farmers, which means the thing that we are currently lacking now is a storage space for all of said enchanted books. So what I'm thinking is that we head over to the Ancient City and we try to figure out where it is we can sort of put a let's reload that, a library in order to store all said enchanted books, because at the moment they're sort of just littered around in double chests near the librarians, and obviously that is not ideal. So is this on Ancient City? Yes it is, thank you. So hop into you and away we go. So yeah, I guess I'll meet you over there. And after around about a 4 or 5 minute trip on that train, we are finally over here at the Ancient City. Let's just set our spawn point here and sleep, because I know it's been about a week or 2 since I slept. So we've got blast there. We are going to want God, these chests are starting to get a little bit out of hand as well. I've got any empty shulkers here. No, you fall. You're full. You're full. You're full. Wow. Yep. This is what I mean, all of the enchanted books are sort of like building up, just where I've been unlocking their trades and whatnot. 2, 3, 4. That. Crafting bench. Thank you very much. So, yeah, so at the moment, as you can see, we've got some shulkers and some double chests there, which is just storing a bunch of the sort of tradables. Which ones? That's all of the glass that we're getting. The books are in there. And then we've got like all of the wood, the paper for trade, and the bookshelves, the emeralds. And this side we've got, I think, melons and pumpkins mainly. Yeah, pumpkins, melons, and splash potions of weaknesses, golden apples. So we need somewhere to really put all of this. Like, we can sort out another storage area for like building resources and farming resources, but to get rid of all of the enchanted books, with them not being stackable, what I was thinking is, let me have a look around the place. I'm not too sure where we left off either, because I did actually do a bunch of work here after I finished the berry farms, which were over here, and we've done this pathway. I built the pathway on the opposing side around our melon and pumpkin farm, which then wraps around here, and we've actually only got a few more pathways. So we've got this pathway here, this pathway at the back, and this little segment of pathway here, and then the wall surrounding this main structure is going to be its own sort of design style. So yeah, what I'm thinking is that we can extend this pathway, say one more, cut out this section of the cave and join it onto this one, and have it coming back up to here, leading to this main section. And that's a way of interconnecting. So we are currently like gradually transforming this area into like a big sort of regal trading hall, which is like the main aim of it. But finding somewhere for a library, we've got that building there, which is pretty big, but shut up. What can I do? I don't want to do another one of them yet, because I've just done 2 of them with Clowd over here, which are our berry farms. And all of these buildings are relatively... Actually, this one's pretty big. But I really would want this to have like a more greenish top, like a more natural top. Like a garden of some kind. So, yeah. Let me have a think. Ow. We want just like... to be honest with you, we really want like a predefined area and space to work in. Just so that way I don't have to design an entire exterior sort of building. Because I just want to design the actual library innards more than anything else. Let me think. I'm in an R in whether or not to pause during this, because I'm trying. Actually, you know what? I've not got plans for, and that is the underbelly. I have no idea who or why you're here, dude. This area here. How big is this area? You know what? It's actually not bad. If we tore out all of these like walls and all of the redstone crap, it wouldn't be too bad at all. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is tear out all of this redstone crap and see just how much room we've actually got to work with in here. Does this work on that? No, it doesn't. You actually need arrows for that. But yeah, let me tear out all of this and then I'll bring you back. Okay, I thought I'd bring you back just because there's something else I wanted to talk about and I don't want to forget about mentioning it. That is, currently at the time of recording this, tomorrow is the release date for the Tales and Trails. Is it? Trails and Tales or Tales and Trails update. The 1.20 for Minecraft. So we will be updating our... I did not mean to break you. We will be updating our servers, but we have to wait for Fabric to obviously update in order to do that. And Fabric is pretty quick, but there's some other sort of client-side mods that I really don't want to have to go without having for a long period of time. One mainly being the OptiFabric, because Optifine brings a lot to the game in terms of graphics and the way it looks visually, which as a very key feature of why I enjoy playing it. But nevertheless, before I trail off on a completely different tangent, it's probably going to be around about a week to a week and a half, pending how long some of the mods take to update. So I don't know if there's going to be another episode in between this one and the one where we're actually playing in the updated version. And if the update has come out by the time or before I start recording my next episode, it will probably be a episode based around the exploration of the new content, the new biome, checking out the camels and the archaeology section, and basically just checking out all the new stuff and things more than anything else. But that's being said, we will still be, oh my god, where is my, we will be still using our project chooser at the end of this episode to see what our next main project is, so I can get a sort of mental idea as to what I should be thinking about whilst doing other bits and pieces, obviously. And but I can't guarantee that that project will be in the next episode or not. And I thought I'd say that now before I completely forget. And I'd say, well, we're going to be working on this next episode, and then next episode we're actually messing about in a 1.2 update. So yeah, I thought I'd just get that out before I completely forget while I'm digging this out. So yeah, I guess I'll carry on digging this out. Alright, so the area is now all cleared out, and we have actually got quite a lot of room to play with. So what I think, oh my god, seriously? I cleared it out, like, finished about 4 seconds ago, and there's already a bat in there. That won't be an issue once we've actually built something in here and we've got it all lit up. Freaking bats. Every single time. Wow. I'm starting to think that firework rockets are not the most effective weapons. But they are decent at taking out bats, apparently. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is hop into a test world, mock something up using these sort of... it's not equations, is it? What's the word? Dimensions. There we go. Mock something up using the dimensions of this empty space, and that way we can sort of crack on with a build. So rather than taking you through that painstakingly long process, I'm going to hop directly into a time lapse of me building whatever it is I managed to come up with for the design for this place. So yeah, let's hop straight into it. Alright then guys, so we've managed to actually get that done. I'm now just looking to see where, okay, that book is going to be, and it's useless being organised anywhere, isn't it? Alright, so actually you can come with me. We have actually, oh my god, my train of thought then just drifted off to nowhere. We finished off the library underneath the belly of the portal area. And we've gone for the same sort of block palette as we've got in the rest of the place. So we're using the cyan terracotta with the sort of nice polished look of all of the quartz. And then we're using the highlights of purple. I've not utilised any gold. This villager, I don't know where he came from, but I don't want to kill him because otherwise I'll get a bad reputation from the rest of the villagers and it will mess up the trading prices. So I may attempt to just try to drown him or set him on fire somehow. Because trying to get him into one of the... Well, actually, I've not even got a free pod for him. Have I? No, all of these are taken. I have no idea where he's come from. But yeah, he's been wandering around aimlessly. I did let him go from his prison underneath here, but... Yeah, so we've stuck to the same sort of block palette, and as we come in here, we've got it nice, wide and open. It's very, very bright, so no more stupid bats are spawning. And we're going with like the crying obsidian trim to add like the sort of mystical feel of the enchanting areas of the enchanting tables. Obviously these enchanting tables aren't intended for actual enchanting. I don't think these candles are lit. That's better. And then I've gone around and I've done all of the barrels with signs rather than item frames to indicate the actual enchanted books are in them, and they're sort of color coordinated. So I think this is cyan, are all of the, no, light blue is all of the trident enchants, and then we've got yellow for all of the sword enchants, and then we've got lime green for the bow, normal green for the crossbow, we've got orange for the pickaxes, normal blue for all of the armor enchants, so respiration, aqua affinity, swift sneak. That stretches off over on that section there as well, and then we've got our two ones that sort of cross over into everyone, which is the mend and unbreaking. We've got our two fishing rods, so lure and luck of the sea. I'm fairly sure there is a third what is it, fishing line? No, fishing rod enchant, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. They're the only ones I could remember. I don't know if I'm misremembering a third from playing modded on the side. These are the rest of our armor ones. We've got red for the curses, so vanishing and binding. More of our armor ones, these are our box standard armor, so our 3 different variations of protection. Other than that, I think that's all of the enchants covered. So it's the case now of me going into there and stocking up a bunch of shulker boxes, well, at least 1 shulker worth of each one, to put into all of these barrels, so that way we can actually come over here and use it. I used the word actually twice in that sentence, which was definitely not standard English, but I also want to figure out where I can put anvils in this place that would be hidden. Like, I've got a gap behind these walls here. These are fire aspects, so these actually go somewhere over here, don't they? Fire aspect, thank you. So what I'm thinking is that because there's a bit of an air gap behind here, if we say break, I hope we got an air gap, otherwise break you. Where do you go through? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4. We can do 4 hives worth of anvils, and we can actually just load them from up there. So that way we can come over here and use them, but I do actually want to swap out them blocks, which should be fine. Like, the outside of here is all going to be getting redone anyway. I just don't want to mess with the overall shape of it too much, because I do want to stick within the shape of the current build. Do that, and then we can have the anvils up top. Anyone remember what chest? There we go. I remembered. Don't worry, I remembered. Let's grab you, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can throw. I really need to go top up my iron, so I need to make a trip over to my iron farm and have that running for a bit. Where was that gap? Over here. Awesome. You know what, rather than me break these, I'm just going to stack them like so. And like so. Which is happy days, and like that. That way we've got the anvils for putting the stuff on armor. Should we need to come over here and do it, we can just go in here and do that. Now obviously with the update coming in, we're going to have hanging signs, so I may utilize some of them here, but we're also going to be getting the bookshelves that you can actually put books into. So I will probably make adjustments to the build after the update comes out, just to add the bookshelves that you can put books into. I'll probably have them next to the barrels, so that way I can have some of the enchanted books in them to just add a little bit more variation. Luckily with vanilla tweaks we've got a lot of variated of the bookshelves, so that way it's not looking just really repetitive pattern, because there is now some variations. But yeah, other than that, I think that's this pretty much done. I'm going to spend some time here obviously filling these up, and then what I'll do is, after I've filled most of these up, and because I'm going to be watching The Punisher while I do it, once I've done filling these up, I will then bring you back in order to see what our next episode's project is going to be on, pending whether or not we update before next episode or not. But yeah, either way we'll know what main project is going to be in line for us. So yeah, I'll catch you back over at base. Alright, so after quite a bit more time, these do need to be tidied up, and I do still need to figure out a sort of semi-sorted way of holding these. I'm thinking dyeing a bunch of shulkers grey and putting them in between the note blocks, just so I've got some storage space around here, because otherwise I don't really know what else to do with them. I guess I could dye them purple and have them up in these little rafters. But I did spend quite a bit of time here collecting all of the books. I was actually missing 2 of them, one being Lore 2 and one being Depth Strider 3. So Cloud actually came over and he helped me get the Lore 2 one while I got the Depth Strider 3. And we've stocked up every single book. There's just a couple that we are obviously missing until I bring them over. One's going to be the Swift Sneak and one is going to be Soul Speed. Soul Speed is an issue. I've got around about 2 double chests filled with Soul Speed, but Swift Sneak obviously you can only get from the ancient cities, so it's going to take some work getting them. But yeah, that's the library pretty much done and dusted. Like, all of these are now filled with books, which is all happy days there. Every single one of these barrels, barring the 2 I just mentioned, have a full shulker's worth of books in them, so if we need to re-gear up and enchant anything, we've got access to everything here, which is very happy days. Yeah, Lore 2 is now done as well. Okay, so yeah, what I'm going to do is head over back to base, and we're going to go use the spin machine because, 1, to see the project, and 2, because I need to start feeding all of these resources back through the system. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. It is going to be a little trip back, so another 5-minute wait for me while I go and watch some more Punisher, so I'll catch you back at base. Home sweet home, and we are finally back. We need to get Steve up and running, because otherwise I will forget and the sorting system will get broken. Which has happened around about 3 or 4 times now, and fixing it is not a fun task. Did I put my box back in here? Okay, yeah, that's in there, that's fine. So all of these guys can just be thrown into here, like so. More than enough room in there, make sure there's enough room in the overflow. Oh yeah, all the yellow water I've got as filter. That can just, you know what, that could just be thrown. Not really kept much for that. Mob heads, my god. Most of them are just mob heads because none of them have been filtered. Okay, and then weaving vines and twisting vines still need to be sorted. But before we go put them away, let's quickly start this thing spinning because we have no idea how long it's going to take. Okay, so yeah, so it's along the corridor and then up the stairs, so we'll wait to see what that one lands on while I go put away these mob heads. Out. So we've got player heads, which are this one, that. And then we got passive, which would be technically wolf. Normal villager, no, phantom is not passive. Rabbits, llamas, and then hostiles are the rest of them. Happy days. And then we want to quickly grab our stuff. Grab all of you guys back out. Oh, there we go. Feels better to have all my stuff sorted and ready to go. Hey, what have we landed on? How? How has it landed on 1 and 2? Something's definitely chipped with this. Oh, yeah, okay. So that's powering that bit of redstone. So it's actually on this one, which is the second one along. So it would be number 2. Which is so it's along this line, and then we need to decide which one up there, but quickly fix that bit of redstone. There's a repeater. There we go. So that is easily fixed by doing that. There we go. So yeah, so along this line here, we have got witch hut in the running. We've got mega rice farm, mushroom farm, glowing farm isn't always a nightmare, mega wart farm, and then a couple of the zoo projects and one industrial one. So at least it's no chance of landing, and they're freaking Cloud. Every episode you're going to hear that message tone, and he always manages to get it when I'm recording, and I only record maybe for like 5 minutes at a time. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. We're going to land somewhere along here. We haven't got any of the ancient city ones, so we're not obviously going to be back to one of the same projects we were doing. We do need to fill this gap here. I think that may have been the village ahead. Was it the village ahead? I know that I've put it, or whatever it was, back in there. I think it was the village ahead, wasn't it? Yeah, ancient city. So that one can actually go back. Obviously it's not going to land on that one because it's not on the number 2 mark, but when we do a project, like I said, did I say that earlier? Oh, I don't want to wear the head. I think I said that earlier, or did I say it last episode? That I'm thinking of adding the status effects on a project. If it's a one-time use project like a mega rice farm, we'll replace that item with another item, and that item will not be a project but a status effect that then gets carried on to the next project that gets selected. So that's something that we're sort of implementing on size board, the one that I showed you at the beginning of the episode, like the no sleeping rule for the following project is always a fun one, especially if you're stuck working on a project outside and you're not allowed to sleep. Similar to the way that blood moons in modded Minecraft work, that they just stop you from being able to sleep the night away. Let's see. Come on. What one don't we want it to land on? It's 5, isn't it? 5 and 7, really. I don't mind 1, 2, or 3. But 5's a really big project. 7's a really big project. 6 or 8 are the zoo projects. They're fine. 4 is an industrial project. That's fine. Oh, I thought it stopped then. Oh, that was a mini heart attack on mine. I really want to get a note block thing for this. Is that something that I could possibly do now? I guess I'd have to have like the note blocks there, which would be directly above the lights. I'm not too sure how to do it in a coherent way though. I'll have to have a think about it. But I would really like to have just like a note block tune sort of running like a clock sound while they're sort of picking. Come on. Oof. Every time it goes past the farm, I'm just going to not look at it for a second. It always hesitates at 5, doesn't it? I think it's because I've extended one of the repeaters in order to make the synchronization of it go gradually. So it always like hesitates around 4, and then it jumps to 5, and then I have a mini heart attack, and then it moves on to 6. I think this is like the 2nd or 3rd week in a row that it's landed along this column though. Is it this column? No, it's the 2nd time it has landed along this column. So I remember being panicky about it landing on the Witch Hut project before. Come on. That's what I hate about the redstone ore block. It is very random, and obviously it makes it like really fair as into what I'm going to end up doing. But the fact that it can just last for ridiculously long may not be the ideal solution. And the thing about it is also I don't want to stop recording and then sort of cut back into it being on a number, because then I could have like stopped it and then started it again and changed it just so it landed on something I fancied doing. But yeah, I think the whole reason, one of the key reasons I actually bother doing recording is because it keeps me honest when I'm playing the game, and it sort of makes me put in a little bit more effort into the sort of cosmetic sides of stuff rather than just getting stuff working and functioning and then just leaving it as is. It's just like that sort of adding incentive just to make things look a little bit nicer, which is evident from pretty much most of my projects, because I spend around about 30% of the time. Oh, we're on 6. What is 6? Oh, it's another zoo project, which isn't the worst thing. I doubt we had a zoo project last episode, didn't we? 6. Yeah, so it is a zoo project. Okay, so we have to go and use the zoo randomizer, and again I've put on the head. Oh my god. And up. Over to the zoo we go. Was not expecting to do this, man. Like, between me and Cloud, we've done more zoo projects in the last 4 weeks than we have done in the last year and a half between us, which is a little bit insane. But yeah, with the randomizer, this the second time he's picked the zoo project, and yeah, I'm not going to argue with it, because if I start changing the rules of the game now, then it's no fun. Okay, let's just make sure that they're evenly spaced. Let them all go into there. Feed through. Got our 6 options. Okay. What ones don't we want? We don't want the ghast. We definitely don't want the warden. What are you? Cats. You know what? I'm alright with that, because we can probably do something else during that episode then. Ah, happy days. I don't mind that. It's the only thing about it is that if I'm doing a cat one, I want to get a variation of every single cat in order to have them obviously on display, because there's no point just having a few random cats, which means it's going to have me needing to find and tame every single variation of cat, which I'm fairly sure, is that not like one of the challenges as well, like the advancements, which I'm fairly sure I got because I had to go to a witch hut to do the final one. Is it? Where are you? Advancements, never. Adventure. I don't think it's adventure. Husbandry? Yeah, tame all the cat variants. So I did actually do that one. And that is one, I've actually got that recorded as well somewhere on my computer. I've just not put together a video of all of the advancement hunting things. I've got a bunch of different little clips for them. But yeah, it does mean having to sort out an area in order to find and tame all of the cats, as well as going to find another witch hut that's got another black cat in. So I'm fairly sure, if I remember correctly, that I killed the one that I tamed, because I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to need that. So yeah, I'm going to have to start thinking of enclosure ideas for them. I guess I could do like just a sort of walk through house area, like a cat sanctuary, with like a bunch of scratching posts and platforms that they can sit on, and have them in different positions around the place. Is a possibility, is what's like I'm thinking of. But it very much depends on the update and when fabric and whatnot updates. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, the next episode may not be the zoo project, it may just be adventuring, or it may be joining Saya on one of her board adventures. So it's very much dependent on how things go. But for our next main project is the cat enclosure for the zoo. So yeah, I'm fairly sure that is probably going to be it for today, and I know that I've gone way over my time because that machine takes so long. And if you're wondering how comes the world isn't loading for me, it's whenever Steve has the machine running and all of the redstone's kicking off, it takes a while. You have to go into these chunks for it to render client side, because the redstone just does not behave well otherwise. But yeah, the world's loaded, it's all functioning. It's just on client side that when all of the redstone here is running and you come and reload the area, that doesn't really load in all that quickly. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. I like my new skin. It goes along with the other 300 that I've got. I also do need to make another new one for the update when that releases, because I'd like to make some form of adventuring skin to go out and about in, to explore all the new stuff in. But yeah, hopefully if you enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.